This isn't exactly true. We didn't build these industries to this point, but we had a whole lot of influence. So there's a lot of truth to this post. Where did the money go isn't the question. It's where can the money go if we use this power of influence and creativity for us. Run DMC was early. We had no clue. We had no precedence. We had no understanding. But we should have learned more from this deal. Jordan's deal was shortly after Run DMC and Adidas, but he actually got a pretty good deal, especially for the times we was in. It's not bad, right? It wasn't like he went out and created his own sneaker. He did this with a sneaker company. Things get really interesting to me is with Dap's story. Like Dapper Dan was doing this and Gucci, sued him out of business, them and Louis Vuitton. And then they come around in 2017 and steal one of his designs saying they're paying homage. We cried out, executives got in there, and they righted the ship and made Gucci create a deal with him. Now, this is where I think we could have shifted, though. What if, instead of going to Gucci and making the deal, we supported him, invested in him, opened up his own atelier, and branded Dapper Dan on his own? That's ownership. That's creating legacy. Since I was a kid, I remember Louis Vuitton telling us they don't want drug dealers wearing their clothes. 2000, they sent Supreme a cease and desist letter. Early 2000s, customization, Gucci, Louis Vuitton on Air Force Ones, Timbs, send everybody, what? Cease and desist letters. But then somehow Kanye convinces them to let him do a capsule. Do a sneaker, it sells out. Next thing you know, Virgil becomes the creative director. While that's dope, Louis Vuitton, one of the oldest brands in the world, now has creative directors that come from hip-hop culture. But this is also, again, the brand that didn't want us for using their monogram print. But yet they stole how many of their prints from African tribes? Then the Nike Air Force One collab comes out and basically erases the history of them coming after our culture with those cease and desist letters. Then Pharrell comes in and does it with Timberland and is now getting $25 million a year from Louis Vuitton. What about his brands that he was struggling with? Y'all wasn't supporting that. So with all these kinds of numbers, right? 90 billion global sneaker market. We have a huge hand in the influence of that culture. How many of those brands are ours? How many brands under LVMH's umbrella are ours? When are we going to have a goal of having a holding company like an LVMH in 50 years? We have the influence, we have the creativity, we have the authenticity. Tell me what we don't have.